Time to cook dinner.
All right, way back in the channel's history, we did a Omnia Calzone, and we figured it was time for another one. So we're joining you from North Central Washington, and just about ready to head off on a loop around Washington for national parks. And this is our first night out. We made this dough last night, so we got a pizza dough that hopefully will just about be the right volume. Prepared that last night and had it in the fridge today. And we know from the last time we did this that if you lay out the bag, that's about the length of calzone you want. So,
And that's a gallon bag.
gallon ziplock, yep. So little oil coating on the hands to give it a nice stretch without too much stick. Also did coat the bag with a little olive oil last night when we put this in, just to try to minimize the sticking. So we pulled this out of the fridge about a half an hour ago so it can warm up.
And it's like 90, 95 degrees, so no problem there.
Yeah, it's still on the cool side, but it's
Yeah, dude.
the dough is
Oh, okay.
still on the cool side actually. But yeah, it's starting to warm up. Got plenty of bubbles, so I think we're looking good on the dough front. We just want to get this stretched out enough to where we'll fold it over like this and then lay it in the Omnia. So for the fillings today, we have a garlic scape pesto. So our neighbor gave us some garlic scapes a while back, and we blended that up. I know traditional pesto is more of a basil pesto, but we did sunflower seeds, olive oil, garlic scapes, and probably a few other things. Put that in the food processor, blended that up. That's going to be our sauce. Last night we smoked a turkey breast, and then we're going to go with artichokes and mozzarella, and then we did have a little bit of extra basil from the garden, so we are going to throw in some basil as well. So that's our calzone for tonight. So I think I've got this just about stretched out like I like it. Pretty darn close anyway. So we're going to start with the sauce. And again, since we're folding this over, we're just going to be kind of spreading this on half of it, or the middle third, or however you want to think about it, but you want to leave part of it so you can fold it over. So we've got our pesto out. That turned out to be just about right. That was just by chance, I guess, but that's how much we had left. And then smoked turkey. This was our chunks of turkey from last night. Kind of kept a neutral seasoning, pretty much salt, pepper, garlic on this, with a little bit of paprika for a little extra flavor. And I'm already going to know that, or be able to tell that this is going to be way too much meat. So we'll have a little leftover turkey for another meal, which usually happens. Yeah, don't want to overload it too much. Okay, so that's our turkey. And marinated artichoke hearts. We were originally going to do this with chicken and figured, well, we have the turkey, skip a step. But yeah, with a turkey or chicken, figured artichoke would be a good complement to the flavor. So throw a few of those on. One more. All right. And then I was told this was an important part of the calzone. Cheese. I think we're gonna have too much of that too to get in, but
That's okay.
we'll see. We'll fit in as much as we can, and then it'll stretch, right? So yeah, we will have some leftover mozzarella as well. So that's a fully loaded calzone.
A little bit of basil would be the top off.
Ah,
Couldn't just leave it at home.
so to keep this fresh for the day, we just wrapped it in a wet paper towel. Basil is so sensitive. It's hard to even get it to last a day, but took a while for our basil to take off this year in the garden. Finally there. So that's going to add some nice flavor right to the middle of this calzone. Okay, what else? I think that's it, right?
That's it.
So we will start to fold this over. It also gives time for the dough to relax while you're making all these fillings, so that you've got plenty of stretch in your dough. Sometimes you just need to give a pizza dough 5 more minutes of time to, and then it will stretch without tearing, I hope. So, and then what I normally do is just fold it back on itself and kind of pinch it off, working on my way back that way. And yeah, if we were at home, we'd just slide that into the oven on a pizza peel, I guess. And now the tricky part is getting it in the Omnia. So for those that aren't aware, the Omnia is basically something you can take camping that just works on the stove top, but you can cook everything that you would cook in an oven. So it's got a heat reflector shield, and then the main pan. We've always used the silicone. Makes cleanup a lot easier. We've got the full silicone, we've got half silicones and quarter silicones, and now we also have
muffin.
a muffin silicone. And then the lid, and as you can tell, lid gets a little hot, so we do now have the thermometer in there. We have found that the thermometer, we usually run it about almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit below what you'd want. So if you want to bake your calzone at 400 degrees, you probably want to run this at 300. That's what we found, to not get it too hot. So all right, so just to make sure it doesn't stick, comes out easily, we just give it a little spray oil. And then the trick is, this is gonna somehow come off the bag. Without tearing, we hope. And little tear, but I needed to stretch it.
And you can smell the basil, by the way.
All right. So there we go. Just about got the full circle, so I think we're doing pretty good. So we've got the camp stove ready to go, and we're just going to fire this up and run it on low. Past experience said at least 45 minutes, so we'll fire this up and we'll be back after we get it running for a while. We'll be sure to rotate it around a couple times, make sure the heat stays even, but the heat's in the center there. And
It's gonna be good.
we'll see you back in a minute. All right, it's been about 55 minutes actually. We went about 10 more minutes just to make sure that basically you're just cooking the bread because the meat's cooked, you're melting the cheese. But I think we're just about there. We just shut off the fuel, so we ran it about 55 minutes. About every 10 to 15 minutes I did a quarter turn just to make sure it was cooking pretty evenly. And that fuel is off now. So we are going to let that cool. There's a little bit of oil that's cooked out from the pesto. And so we don't want to get oil burn or anything. We're gonna let that cool, and when it simmers down we'll be back and we'll get the calzone out and
Get a slice.
see how we did. I think the bottom is going to be just about perfectly done. It's nice and firm on top as well, and you can see the browning on the inside there, so looking pretty good.
See you in a minute.
All right, it's going to be about 5 minutes from we saw you last. Let this cool for a little while with the lid off. Just want to give you a reminder that hot pads are essential for this. The lid does get really hot, so every time you check the lid, make sure you get a hot pad. And we're going to do a little flip.
Oh my gosh, perfect.
Nice and brown. Getting a little on the upper end of done, but I think it'll be just about right, with the top kind of pale and the rest mostly golden with a little
golden brown.
Not bad, yeah. So we're gonna let this again cool for a while out of the pan before we slice it up, and we'll see you back here in a minute. All right, so we've let it cool for as long as we can wait, and we're wishing we brought the bread knife, but we're gonna do the best we can with the tools that we have because we're roughing it. So let's see how this thing came out. Ooh, it's still plenty warm.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Cheese is melted. I think the bread's done all the way through.
Yeah.
Pesto. Ooh, it's hot.
Yeah,
Yep,
we're gonna need to buy a bread knife.
I already made a note to put the bread knife in the camper, but that looks pretty tasty, really. So that's gonna be good. So we're gonna enjoy. Thanks for watching all, and we hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the next one.